what's the most important day in your life, in your personal life, not just the the life of the Torah and whatever, but what's the most important day in your life?
The day you die.
The day you were born.
So the Rebbe teaches us the most important day in your life is the day you're born. The most important day in your life. The question is, what do you do on that day? You don't do anything. So with Jews, when one Jew says Shalom Aleichem, the other Jew has to say, no, the opposite, Aleichem Shalom. So let's figure out why this day is so good, the birthday is so important, by figuring out, looking at the saddest day of the year. What's the saddest day of the year?
Tisha B'Av.
Tisha B'Av, the saddest day of the year. So, question is, what is this day really about? We know so many calamities happened this day. Jewish people were exiled from Spain and from England in the 1100s, and the first and second Bais Bezalel was destroyed. Germany joined World War I on Tisha B'Av, and Final Solution was drafted in Tisha B'Av, and in our generation, Gush Katif, Jewish people were expelled from Gush Katif also on the 9th of Av. So, to understand what this is, go to the source of it, the root of it. The first thing that happened, before the first and second Beit HaMikdash was destroyed, and before the Jews in Beitar, 585,000 Jews were killed. The stronghold of Jews in Beitar were killed also on Tisha B'Av. Before all that happened, what was the first thing that happened on 9th of Av? The Jewish people were waiting for the spies to come back from visiting Israel. They came back, and they told everyone in Israel, it's a great country and everything, but there are people that are way too strong for us, they're bigger than us, there's no way we're going to be able to conquer this land. So what happened? It was the 9th of Av when they came back, and it says in the Torah, the Jewish people cried in that night, and because they cried for no reason, Hashem said, therefore it will be a time of tears. It sounds like disproportionate. So many calamities happen because we cried for no reason. Your kid cries for no reason, so you slap him up, and that sounds like Hashem's taking vengeance on us. Oh, you cry for no reason? I'll give you a reason. No, what does it mean?
That's what my dad got that.
And the real answer is, it's not that Hashem's taking, God forbid, taking vengeance upon us. It's that Hashem is telling us that crying, those tears, have tragic results. And you have to be very careful from those kinds of tears, because those tears actually, it's not a repercussion that Hashem is giving us. It's a natural result of those tears. And until we fix those tears naturally cause all the other tears. So what is so terrible about those tears? To understand this, let's analyze a question that maybe, I never thought of it, but maybe you have. Why 9 days? Why is it 9 days? You know, there's 9 days of intense mourning for the Beit HaMikdash, from the 1st of Av until the 9th of Av. Why 9? What's the number 9? So we know in Kabbalah there are 10 different soul powers. There's first you're intellectual, then there's emotional ones, then there's a 10th one. What's the 10th one called? Anybody know? Survey says? No? The 10th sphere. 10th sphere is the lowest one. Malchut. Malchut is the power to lead. Malchus is the power of confidence. Malchus is the power of strength. And what was missing in the story of the 9 days, what the Jewish people were experiencing then, was that they were losing their malchut. They were losing that power. So that is very significant, because when a person has unjust fears, he's afraid of things he shouldn't be afraid of, it prevents him from being who he needs to be. It prevents him from doing what he needs to do. You know, everyone knows, you guys are all in business, you know, if a team of workers feel you believe in them, they do it differently. If you believe in yourself, the kind of decisions that you make, the kind of risks that you'll take, the kind of things you go into, not just that, but the way you do stuff is very affected by your confidence, by the way your approach to it. We just celebrated 450 years since the passing of the Arizal on the 5th of Av. There's a verse that the Arizal analyzes one way, and Baal Shem Tov and the Alter Rebbe and our Rebbe analyze, which gives us a lot of insight into what Malchut is about. The verse goes like this: Yetzei Adam lefa'alo, b'la'avodato ad ha'yarav. Man goes out to work, and by day until the evening. So the Arizal says, what is this verse talking about? The Arizal says this verse is talking about going to heaven. A person goes out of this world. Where do you go to when you get to the next world? You go to whatever you're doing in this world. Yetzei Adam, where do you go? The Fa'alo. You go according to what you did in this world. Whatever you're doing, you were studying Baba Batra here, you're studying the laws of Shabbat here, you're studying Parsha here. That's what you study in the heavenly academies. That's what the Arizal says. The Baal Shem Tov says this verse means something completely the opposite. Yetze Adam, a person goes out. Where does he go out from? He goes out of heaven. He comes to this world. What does he do in this world? He goes, says, Baal Shem Tov l'fo alo. You come out to this world to do your job. You have a mission to do this world. Hashem gives you specifically the power that you have, that you need to do your specific mission in the world. That's in Yetze Adam l'fo alo. And how long do you have to do this job? Adei Arav, until evening. And what's evening mean? No, your favorite day. No. And then when a person passes away, that's when. So the Baal Shem Tov says, be conscious of what's going on in your life, because you have a time to do the job until evening, until the Shem returns to heaven. That's what Baal Shem Tov says. The Alter Rebbe says, Yetze Adam l'fo alo. A person goes out to his job, and at the beginning it's difficult, it's hard. However, you should know, if you stay on target, Adei Arav, you reach the evening. What's evening mean? Evening means sweetness. So eventually, what at first is bitter, at first is hard, eventually becomes geshmak, eventually becomes pleasurable. Eventually you identify and you can do this, and you got this, and it's you. That's what the Alter Rebbe said. The Rebbe once said that these three teachings are very characteristic of the ones who said them. The Arizal is a Kabbalist. What do Kabbalists do? They tell us what's happening in heaven. The Arizal says, what happens to you when you go to heaven? Let me tell you. You're going to study the same Torah that you studied in this world. Arizal. Baal Shem Tov lived at a time when there was Jewish people were really depressed and down, because it was right after Chmielnicki, right after the pogroms throughout Europe. So Baal Shem Tov came to revive the Jewish people, came to bridge the gap between the scholars and the ignorant people, and to revive everybody. What did Baal Shem Tov say? He said, you got this. You have the power to do this. Yetze Adam l'fo alo, God gives you the strength to do your job. Chassidim say that Baal Shem Tov put up the ladder of serving God and said, this is what it's meant to be. This is what serving God looks like. But the Alter Rebbe showed us how to climb the ladder. Baal Shem Tov said, that's what you got the power. You say to yourself, one second, I got the power, I'm not feeling it right now. Says the Alter Rebbe, you're not feeling it, okay. But you should know that it's going to get sweeter. Stay on, call out, there's good news and there's bad news. And it goes like this. All beginnings are hard. That's the good news and that's the bad news. I'm sure we're changing this new place over here. So the good news is it's only the beginning. The bad news is that until you get past the beginning, it's hard. So that's what Alter Rebbe said. Amazingly, after the Rebbe gave this explanation, a few years later, the Rebbe put out a paper, say another explanation. Yetze Adam l'fo alo, a person goes out to do his job. Who is the person? The person refers to Hashem, who is called Ad Le'el, and Kabbalah Hashem is called the supernal man. And what's Hashem's job? What does it say in the Torah? What's Poel? What's Hashem's mission, so to speak? Poel Yeshua b'kerev haaretz, cause salvation for the Jewish people. Yetze Adam l'fo alo, God brings salvation to the Jewish people. So that's what the point of these 9 days is to bring us to the time of salvation. But in order to rectify the 9 days, Hashem gives us time to stop listening to music, to stop taking haircuts, to stop drinking wine, to stop eating meat, to think about what's missing. What is missing? What's missing is these tears shouldn't be there. These tears of lack of confidence in yourself, because the truth is, if you don't believe in yourself, that really means you don't believe in Hashem. Because believing in Hashem really means that you believe that Hashem put you in this world for a reason. That's why the birthday is such a significant day. Your birthday says that Hashem looked through the whole world and He said, stop, there's something you need to do. That's what birth means. So if you don't believe in yourself, you really don't believe in Hashem. And unfortunately, a lot of people, all kinds of false reasons why they can't do anything. Like many people say, divorce is embarrassing. People say that men can't multitask. People say you can't educate this young generation because
You might be right. You might be right on that one.
people say that rich people hold their nose up high and they trample on everybody else. People say that I don't trust any sellers. All sellers are liars, and I know because I'm also a seller. People say that you need to have brute force to make it in this world. People say all kinds of things that you have to. These are accepted as truths, and these accepted truths, these false faiths that we entertain in our minds, they close up our power of malchut, our power of energy. The Orach Chaim, something unbelievable. We read in the Torah about the building the tabernacle, building the Mishkan. The Torah says there were two people. Well, actually, read the verse. It doesn't say two. It says there were people whose heart lifted them, and men whose heart lifted them came to build the temple. And it says anyone's heart lifted them, anyone whose spirit, a magnanimous spirit, guided them to donate to the temple, came and built the temple. What are these two descriptions? The one whose heart lifted them, and the one whose spirit magnanimous spirit guided them. Rechaim says, unbelievable. Rechaim says, our people, they have stuff. And the stuff that they have, they give. Says Rechaim, that's not Varuchai. That's magnanimous, the generous spirit. That's one kind of person. And people don't have. They don't have. And even if they don't have, they say, I'm going to do this anyways. I'm going to make this work. That's Nodvel Libay. Their heart lifted them up beyond themselves. So the Ramban, echoing the words of Rechaim, the Ramban says something very similar. The Ramban says, Jews come out of Egypt, right? They have to build this tabernacle. They have to build this table out of gold. They have to build this. They have to build that. Who could do all this stuff? You have to have extra craftsmen. Was there a class? Okay, we'll build the tabernacle. We're going to do a 9 months course in blacksmith and silver, and then we're going to nothing of the sort. How do they know who could do? How do they know who could do it? The Ramban says unbelievable. The Ramban says everyone just looked in themselves and they found their strength. They looked in their own inner nature and they said, "Oh, I could do this." How they discover that inner nature? They just discovered it all of a sudden. They just, "Oh, I could do that." Says the Ramban, words you have to remember: "Vayig ba'li b'darchei Hashem." A person has to raise his heart in the service of Hashem. And this is why Moshe Rabbeinu, although he was the humblest of all people, when God said to Moshe, I need to talk to you, what did Moshe answer? Moshe said, Hineni, I'm here. What does the Talmud say, the Midrash say? I'm here to be the king, I'm here to be the Kohen Gadol. Whoa. Aren't you the humblest of all men? Yeah, I'm the humblest of all men until I'm needed. And it sounds like it's an arrogant thing. It's not arrogant. In fact, this is the most humblest thing. Why? When you feel that God is with you and God is guiding you and you have a mission to do, that's real humility, but it doesn't make you weaker, it makes you stronger. You know you're not going by yourself. You know someone is taking you on the path and you can do this. So the problem of the Tisha B'Av is the Jewish people, they listen to the spies. What did the spies say? We were like grasshoppers in their eyes. Actually, the Talmud says, first they said grasshoppers, then they said ants. The Chidah explains, they started a grasshopper, and they're like, you know what, ants, lower. The problem is that we look at ourselves and we don't really know who is sending us on the path. And what's the answer? There's a very simple answer. It's not one that people like to do, but it's really a simple answer. It's not just believing in yourself. Believing in yourself is nothing to say. You know what was really helpful to help believing in yourself? To help shake all those false things that you led yourself to believe about yourself? It's doing something. Going out and changing your schedule, changing your things in your life, and going and doing. Doesn't matter what it is. Just going and doing. There's a verse. Rabot machshavot levish v'atat Hashem hi takum. Literal translation is man has many thoughts, but God's advice is. Literal translation is God's advice is get up and do something. It doesn't matter if you change the time you eat, change the time you drink, change the time you go to sleep, change the time you go to work, change it. But you see the people are trying to do something. They're volunteering for something. What would be wrong if you said, you know what, I'm gonna go and do something. I can go and help. Just the very fact that you show up and you say, I'm going to do something, and Hashem has put me here for a reason, a lot of people which are really stuck in their lives, stuck in their marriage, stuck in their children's education, stuck in their parnasah. What did God tell the Jewish people at the Red Sea? Travel forward. So bottom line is, we need to be becoming a Mashiach, and we need to evoke in ourselves the power of Malchut. Malchut has two parts. There's inner Malchut, and there's outer Malchut. Outer Malchut means the influence we have on our friends, and our family, and our business, and our circle of influence. Inner Malchut is our control of ourselves. It starts with believing in yourself. You believe Hashem has sent you to where you are. And that is what brings the 9 days to be the 10th day. Like this year, Tisha B'Av is actually on the 10th day of Av, but it's a school of this year, since Tisha B'Av is pushed off, that should be pushed off forever. And we can see the coming of Mashiach, B'Karim Mamish, L'chaim. Any questions, comments, criticism, tomatoes, cucumbers?
No, I'm there. My question would be: is how is the last day of your life not the most important? If you didn't do tshuva, you would assume when you're born, you're nothing. You're not even responsible for the averot that you might be doing, the mitzvot that you might be getting. So how is?
Listen, there are two psukim. What you're saying is correct. It has an apostle. Better the day of death than the day of birth, right? So,
I don't know about that, but
King Solomon said it can't be wrong, right? But more important for us to focus on in our lives is the fact that Hashem made us, and we're here for a reason. This will animate us. It's true that if you think about the day of death, you'll try to make good decisions, but it won't animate you. To believing in Hashem means believing in yourself. believing that Hashem believes in me. That's what brings us to Mashiach. We're not trying to get to good Gan Eden. Good Gan Eden, you think about the day of death. Being animated. So many people they can't go forward in life. They have so much strength. They have all mind. They have so many different talents and so many different capabilities, and they're stuck in such a rachmanis. They need to work on their power of malchut, their true belief in Hashem. L'chaim.
Fine.
Fine. Thank you very much.